Donald Trump strongly recommends us not to drink alcohol since his brother had serious problems due to his addiction. His older brother would always tell him not to drink or smoke, and he knew how to understand. Let's see what Donald has to say about it.
But let me just tell you, what I would do when my children, when they were very young, from the time they could speak, no drugs, I would tell them. No drugs, no alcohol, no cigarettes. Every week. And I'd drum it in. And I have a lot of friends who have very talented children. I have a lot of friends who have very untalented children too. They'll never make it whether they take drugs or not, okay? But I have friends that have very talented children, but they started drinking or they take drugs. These people, you know, it's a competitive world out there, as you folks know. These people are at a huge disadvantage, And so when people ask me, you know, your kids, they're doing well, they're in business, they're making deals, I tell people, it's such a competitive world, such a hard, that if your kids are taking drugs or alcohol, they're at a huge disadvantage. I learned myself. I had a brother, Fred, great guy, best looking guy, best personality, much better than mine. But he had a problem. He had a problem with alcohol. And he would tell me, don't drink, don't drink. He was substantially older, and I listened to him and I respected, but he would constantly tell me, don't drink. He'd also add, don't smoke. But he would say it over and over and over again. And to this day, I've never had a drink. And I have no longing for it. I have no interest in it. To this day, I've never had a cigarette. I had somebody that guided me, and he had a very, very, very tough life because of alcohol, believe me. Very, very tough life. He was a strong guy, but it was a tough thing that he was going through. But I learned because of Fred. I learned. This was an idea that I had, where if we can teach young people not to take drugs, just not to take them.
Jordan Peterson warns that drinking too much alcohol can have severe consequences for your brain power, as well as getting you into unnecessary trouble with the police and your loved ones. Next, Jordan recommends minimizing alcohol consumption and his reasons.
Stop drinking too much. How do you know if you're drinking too much? You regret what you do when you're drinking. It's interfering with other important goals. It's causing you financial distress. It's getting you in trouble with your friends or your family. It's getting you in trouble with the police. Stop abusing substances if you can, right? If you see that they're hurting you. Physical health. Are you in decent shape? Are you strong and coordinated? And if you're not, you'd be better if you were. You'd feel better, you'd be more effective, you'd live longer, you'd be less sick. And you really see that mount up. Like if someone's been in shape once in their life, they age way better. And it's also a really good way of maintaining your cognitive ability. Like, you know, you hear about those exercises that you can do online to make you smarter and keep your cognitive ability intact. Yep. Those don't work. There's no evidence that they work. Exercise works. Cardiovascular and weightlifting, you start to decline in your fluid intelligence at about the age of 25. And it's a linear trend downhill, and it can accelerate as you get older. It's just like this, quite ugly. If you exercise, you stave that off.
Tyson Fury, British professional boxer, has spoken publicly about his problems with alcohol. In 2016, after his victory against Vladimir Klitschko in a boxing match, Fury revealed that he had been dealing with problems with depression, anxiety, and alcohol addiction. In an interview, he explained that he had been drinking every day for an extended period of time and had considered suicide on several occasions. Fury explained that he used alcohol to numb the pain and fight sadness. Now, after having overcome those problems, he helps those who are going through the same thing. Like Trump, Tyson advises us not to drink alcohol.
And I had a lot of time off, 2.5 years, and a lot of people said I'd never, ever return. Because to lose that much weight, and to come from where I've come from, I had mental health problems, alcoholism, addiction to drugs, everything you can think of, I've been there and done it. I really don't know what had me depressed, but I knew I was just spiraling out of control. And the only thing I could think of to make it better go away for a bit was getting drunk. Wow. And that just led to problems after problems after problems. Do you know what? If I knew what it was, then I'd have fixed it straight away. But you just don't know what causes these things. And I was drinking every day, something I'd never done in my life. To try and wash me sorrows away. Drinking 4 or 5 drinks every night. Because And that'd help me go straight to sleep, no problem. Turning point was, I went out Halloween dressed as a skeleton in a fancy dress party. I went out about 9 o'clock and I expected to stay out all night and get smashed. I had one drink. I looked around me and I thought, what am I doing? I said to myself, you're telling me that you would rather be here with a load of kids half your age? Is this what you really want when you've got a family at home? I went upstairs to my room. I got down, I took the skeleton suit off and I got down on my knees. And I was in a dark room on my own. And I was praying to God to help me. And I knew I couldn't do it on my own. I just knew it. I couldn't do it. I'd said so many times I was going to do it and believed I was going to do it in the night. And the next day come, I didn't have no motivation to do it. Zero motivation to have a shave, zero to brush your teeth. I got back that night and my wife thought I was drunk. I come home early. She says, oh, you're home early. I said, yeah. I said, I've had enough of this life. I said, tomorrow, I said, I start to turn my life around. She said, yeah, I've heard it all before. I said, I promise you. I said, I'm going to do it. I'm definitely going to do it. And nobody believed me. But I knew I had a smile on my face, a twinkle in my eye, and I was going to run 2 miles. I said, I'm coming back. I said, I'm going to win the heavyweight championship of the world again.